Now there's a little bit of questions about where this pick would go. I would imagine they're going to swap these solo laners at some point, but the Galio into the Orianna is a perfectly fine matchup as well. And overall, Weibo have a very easy to execute and a very clear picture. Okay, well, as somebody who plays ADC quite often, maybe plays some jack of all trades, I'll hold my thought right here. It looks like Zaozu's going to get dove 4 members strong by the side of Weibo. That guy had no chance as Crisp is barely able to survive with one more tower shot. That's first blood to Weibo Gaming. Obviously have pressure on that top side of the map. Meanwhile, Tian has not actually started up this Cloud Dragon yet. As JDG kind of in a better position despite losing that kill off the dive.
Especially with these, like you say, with these grubs going down as well. They will be traded for this outside if they were to try to contest. But I mean, looking across the board at the gold, it's still very even. That first blood gold has been largely neutralized by the fact that the bot laners EPs to. It's into the mid lane. So expectation is that JDG want to fight for this dragon, and it looks like Weibo do too.
Starting initiative, immediately dredge line on to Chris. The dragon is below 2k. Shun's able to get in there and smite it down. That's a stolen Infernal Dragon for JD Gaming, and Weibo can't do anything about it.
We do a little bit of the flipping here in the LPL, and it's JDG that come out on top. Side, but what I'm looking at from Weibo is try to punish Xiaoxiu. He's got no flash on this Rumble. They should be looking to capitalize on that, and I don't know that I've seen Tian actually look for an ulti yet.
They're going to punish Zhuo instead, who gets caught trying to defend a control ward against Light and Tian. That's a big kill for this Kaisa, who has been put rather behind in the CS department, but now is 1-0-1.
Yeah, and with that kill, we've pretty much given the gold lead right back to Light. I think that this is the best place for Weibo to put their gold. I think that there's a lot of onus on Light in this game. Looking at the damage that they've got on this composition, yes, we've got on Aurora, yes, we've got a Jarb and Galio sort of hybrid bruiser tank damage thing that they're going to be doing, but it's all about Light. It's all about him and what he's
going to be just fine.
So yeah, you would expect now, especially with that big overload up to the top side that actually didn't really yield any fruit. This is going to give some free time to scout down in the bot lane. They put 3 people on the top side as Weibo and lose out on this first turret of the game that goes down in favor of JDG for a lost play on the top side. Looks like Weibo trying to make a play this time around that didn't quite work out. They might be looking to punish though.
Yeah, Scout does have his flash, but in terms of the Dragon lead would be very impactful for Weibo as they're the ones to start it off.
Yeah, they do have Pantheon ulti to get in there a little bit quicker, so when Zhuo walks around this corner, broaches it and sees how high HP it is or how low, might start to get in there.
Get in there quick. No, it's too late. Tian and Weibo are going to secure this dragon. The question is, will they go for more? Chris flashes in for a 2-man pulverize, and after almost 20 minutes, the LPL gods have granted us a team fight. It's a Cataclysm onto 2. Zhuo dangerously low and already a 1-for-0 in favor of JD Gaming. As Xiaoxiu yeets himself straight into the enemy jungle and picks himself up a kill on the breathe. It's 3-0 in favor of JD Gaming with Xiaoxiu next to follow. He has the blast cone to safety as Weibo collapsed after picking up the Drake.
It's a Giga Chad Rumble performance from Xiaoxiu there. He puts the equalizer down, flashes onto the right side of the blast cone, and cooks Weibo in their own jungle. Yes, they get away with the dragon, but they lose 3. They will lose the Atacon. Now, it's about making sure that he is getting gold in the side lane. That tier 1 turret mid on top side is their prize. This is the second turret that Scout has taken. That's 2 kills worth of gold that have been funneled into timing in which we usually see our laners get caught, these mid laners rather, get caught on sides, and so far that has not happened. It's a quintessential point of Xiaohu as well, as we do see that JDG now finally able to corral their forces into the mid lane. Scout comes in, shows a bit of face, and that mid lane tier 1 turret in the outer sweep. Yeah, but trying to walk into this is even more difficult almost for Weibo because it's so telegraphed where their engage is going to come from. You'll see now that Xiaohu probably going to play a little bit of an off angle so that he doesn't get interrupted by any form of CC. Breathe looking for a flank, but Xiaoxiu's marking this, and 4k on the dragon. This isn't going down too slowly.
Yeah, Tian's gonna have to pull the trigger soon if they want to try to steal this one away. Another Q smite is beautifully executed, and Shun will secure the second dragon of the game for JD Gaming. Zhuo goes in once again with that dredge line, but the headbutt pull from Chris does not connect. Now the equalizer comes on, and JDG can smell blood in the water as Weibo could be collapsed upon. Finally, the EQ comes in from Tian, not utilizing that Cataclysm just yet. He won't even be able to create the terrain before going down as Paige picks up the kill. Crisp is next to follow, and it's an all-out slaughter for now, until Light finally picks up 1, then 2 with the killer instinct before the shockwave from Scout will finish the job. It is a 5-for-2 ace for Weibo after giving, or for JDG I should say, as all of Weibo are done.
Do that once again here. Finding it very
See that
difficult,
right there?
though.
By the way, that's called character development for Scout. That man would have died 4 times over into the side lane in a different world in the regular season. But it looks like this guy has been unlocked, has a little bit more of that presence of mind to not get caught out and stay alive, knowing that JDG have this lead. Hey, it's good to see out of one of the LPL's best mid laners ever. As I say that, no, it's a caster curse. The EQ comes in and Scout's in tremendous danger. He flashes away and will be able to survive. The hero's entrance comes through from Zhao just to protect Light. The equalizer is near burning him down, and he's immediately out of the picture as Breathe goes in with the Between Worlds. Already 1 kill into the hands of Chris. A 3-man cataclysm, but there's no follow-up onto TN's side as Shun picks himself up a double kill, and Scout ends up playing a masterful bait in that team fight.
The Seraph's Shield, the Redemption, the Command Protect keep Scout alive. His flash had been saved through teamfight after teamfight, so he's able to bait in Weibo, and then they collapse. All 3 carries of Weibo are alive, but they've got no HP, no smite, and this is a simple secure by the mid laner from JDG, and one of those reasons that we were talking about him getting all of the gold would be so important. In exactly that instance where he's able to use his level lead, use his advantage to stay alive and bait in all of Weibo.
And you could say that, you know, maybe if Scout wasn't as rich in that fight, could have ended up dying a little bit earlier. Maybe the Seraph's not available, maybe not another level, but hey, that's what you get for all the advantages that you're able to get in the side lanes this game. Getting those 2 towers, getting solo gold and XP for a tremendous amount of this game means that JDG are able to win their 3rd straight team fight, have a 6,000 gold lead with Baron buff still in their hands for another 105 seconds. The tier 2s in both the mid and the bot lane have gone down, and it's inhibitors that are next on the menu. All in the meanwhile, Shun is picking up Chemtech's soul point for his team.
Yeah, and there's no real contest from Weibo there. Maybe when the Drake goes down, they might try to find an engage, but you know, it's Pantheon with ulti, so it's going to be really tricky to find that window to make something happen. You can see Pace T-posing almost here.
Oh my goodness, Tian taken so low after just barely missing that EQ combo. Pace's face taking the Aurora damage and still not going down. The equalizer almost burns down Breathe, and here comes Shun to finish everything off. Light dives in the back line, he takes down Zhuo, but will not anybody else. As JDG win yet another team fight, Breathe the only one left standing, and into the Nexus turrets they go. It should be JDG finishing off this game 1, and not before they pad the KDAs just a little bit more. Breathe goes golden to try to keep himself alive, but he makes himself an easy target. But instead of going down, it is Shun who instead focuses his target onto the crystal that matters most. It's JDG taking game number 1 of this best of 5. Another composition very much reliant on Paze, but you know, if you're going to rely on one player on JDG, that is who I would put my cards into. A lot of setup around this Xayah pick in particular, and you know, as Xayah, you have a lot of opportunities to escape. So level 1 setup here.
Could be a stun into the brush here. Scout takes W level 1.
Who does get stunned up, combined with that grand entrance. That's already a flash from the Taliyah. It could just be his doom anyway, as Paze will finish off first blood. However, Tien has jumped in as well. Try to finish off a little bit more on the Scout, but it's a 5v4. Weibo do not have a response. That is an easy kill to JDG to start things off.
It's like they're listening to me, Graves. Pretty much every single game on the Rift before we had Fearless, and flash in mid lane.
The Zhao Shu going to be followed up here by that
another flash.
Shun. There's a ton of CC onto the flashless Taliyah, and that's an easy kill picked up for JDG. Paze and Zhuo rotating to the mid lane off of their base instead.
And you're sort of looking, you're hoping as well that in the interim, Weibo are able to find some semblance of stability, because they've lost 2 kills now. They're really struggling almost to get this game off the ground, and that's what we need from them here. They've got this early game aggressive composition where they need to use that level 6 from the Taliyah to make plays happen, where they use the early game of Ezreal Karma to... No TP for Xiaoshu either means that he probably can't get back to this plate in time. He's going to have to walk his way out the long ways, and Weibo Gaming actually should be quite happy with how they find themselves in this current position. They're going to take 2, probably get all 3 of these grubs without actually any sort of contest. Doesn't look like they're losing out anything bot lane. They even get push in mid lane, so
wow.
A really big win for Weibo here.
A big break for Weibo Gaming things open and make it there as either that 3rd or 4th seed.
Second dragon of the game here for JDG as they look to start it up and find their first neutral objective in this match. Weibo, though, sniffing around.
Yeah, takes it down, and now Zhuo could be in a little bit of trouble, but a really nice quickness, and he's going to turn the engage right back onto Light. He already had to use both of his summoner spells, but the Ezreal is alive, at least for the time being. Meanwhile, Xiaoshu is getting caught out, now 1v5 into the midst of Weibo's composition. Gets Seismic shoved back, but there's no Unraveled Earth to stun him up, and so the K'Sante is going to live for now as JDG now trying to retreat. Pays, though, with a flash into the Blade Caller, is going to lock down 2, and the Timbers will take down Tian. All right, that's a 1-0 in favor of JD Gaming, but Breathe is still very healthy, still able to heal up very nicely as Xiaoshu's looking to chase down Chris. In goes Zhuo, but he will go to his doom, and 3-man and Topo strikes come out from Xiaoshu. It's an all-out brawl in the bottom lane, and JDG are dropping still, but Xiaoshu jumps forward. Pathmakers onto Light, and it's a 4v3 with only Xiaoshu standing for Weibo.
Xiaohu's looking though, he's got no mana, goes onto the Unraveled Earth, he will fall, and it's an ace for JDG. They take down all 5 members of Weibo, our first fight of the game, and it's another one that JDG take. Do what he can, but I really like the heads-up play from Jun as he flashes in, but we're fighting once again on live.
Yeah, stun onto Xiaoshu already. Tian popping the Crescent Guard to knock back the K'Sante, but it's going to be Tian himself who gets sent right to his doom.
Already down on that bot side, and there's not really anything that we need to be worried about as JDG walk on in.
Meanwhile, JDG, yeah, right here onto Chris. As you mentioned, another kill
All
is
the
picked
vision
up as Pays is the one to go on a killing spree here. Seismic Shove does not land onto Shun, but here comes Breathe with the Dominus already popped. One more auto is going to take down Shun, but it's going to come at the cost of Light once again as the bot lane for Weibo Gaming is already out of the picture. Zhuo has to dodge away from the Seismic Shove, should be able to get on out of this one nicely. And JDG get another 2 kills. Their jungler's down, which means it's going to be a little bit harder for them to get the Rift Herald.
Take down Light off the back of this as well, and that just extends that gold lead even further. Now Scout, though, he's the focus.
I guess Weaver's wall cut out, but Xiaohu is taking a lot of damage in response, and Breathe does not find a stun until right about now. The tether lands from Chris, but Xiaoshu is helping and doing the work to make it at least for 1-for-1, and he's still going all out. A 3-man Q3 is going to set up beautifully for Pays, who's going to clean house here in the fight and pick himself up a double kill with another one going to Xiaoshu as well.
And now, in this game number 2, where fighting seems to be a bit more prevalent, they are coming out swinging.
6-0-6 for Pays on the Xayah with Zhuo and the Rakan by his side. Popped in the mid lane. JDG opening their gold lead up to 4,000, soon to be 5. As that tier 1 is taken out, they're going to send Shun down towards the bottom lane where Scout has been caught out a little bit, Breathe rather low, but he will end up picking up that kill onto the Annie. So Scout finally getting caught out a little bit, but it's all a setup as in comes Shun with the Rift Herald. Not going to hit the tower, but will hit the Renekton instead to make it a 1-for-1 extended on the bottom side.
Drake is live hit, but you can see that JDG, they want more from the play than just the Dragon. Looking for this tier 1 turret, looking to once again complete that outer turret sweep. Look at the top lane though. Xiaoshu is in that top lane, split pushing, securing himself hopefully a tier 2 turret to get gold onto their mid lane. He's 2-4-2 in this game, but with those grubs, you'd like to think he can work his way through it, but Jun's here.
So Scout got picked off on the bottom side. Xiaohu in some trouble up top. Shun with that Conqueror proc still has that ultimate available, then will use the cease and desist. It's all too easy here for the JDG jungler as Xiaohu goes down for the 5th time this game. Okay, I was going to say maybe some bad habits for him for Scout. He will be able to live there with the help of the Spellbook teleport from Zhuo as a Dragon. The second one, I should say, picked up for JDG.
They're just looking to see, okay, let's pull Weibo this way, and then the second they come on over, we'll start to do the Atacon, and it's simple, but it's really well managed by JDG here. True Shot Barrage goes through as sort of a passing glance almost to see if they could try to take a steal. Not successful in that venture. To dice with the most, but Drake has spawned. There's a 5k gold lead for JDG, I expect. They should just be able to take this, but Weibo, you can see them sniffing around as well. Do they want to take this fight? Surely not. No.
The Dragon's already gone. No need to make a bad situation worse, since Light might have just done so. He has to use the cleanse and shift away. Prevent Scout from laying down the teddy bear on his head. And so it will be Weibo just ceding over Infernal Soul Point to JDG.
And ready in these fights is a pretty big deal, but you can see the Baron now live. Zhuo here ready to try to start this fight off. Xiaohu nice and high on HP. Maybe he can be the one to make the difference.
Tian getting knocked up, then cease to desist onto him. Already has to pop the Crescent Guard with Light now just joining the fight, but it's already going to be before his jungler goes down as Shun is going to pick up the first kill and Pays is flashing into the back line of Weibo Gaming. Already a double kill into the Vi's hands and that should be an easy team fight win right as the Baron spawns.
And there's just no way for Weibo to take these fights. Their composition thrived in the early game, but they're down 5k gold. We're 25 minutes into this one. Xiaohu's diving.
All out onto Light, who remember doesn't have a cleanse available just yet. He's able to use the flash, he shifts over the wall, and he's at 1 HP in his own jungler, and so is Scout. But finally, Topo Strikes will take it down this Ezreal from the hands of Xiaoshu, as JDG able to have their cake and eat it too. They win a fight mid, they get the tier 2, and pick up the Baron. Bot lane tier 2. Try to sync up both the waves in bot and mid to start getting into the inhibitors, getting into the base of Weibo Gaming for the second time in just a couple of hours.
Back into this game for Weibo. Their tools in terms of getting onto the backline are just so muted, and the way they've not shown it so far this game, I doubt it'll happen.
And Breathe just gets caught out before anything begins, but a really nice seismic shot from Zhao, who's going to be able to take down Zhuo. It's a 1-for-0 already for Weibo, but Paze is still at full HP, still untouched, nearly taken down Breathe. Finally, the Feather Storm comes out, but it's going to be the Xin Zhao eventually dropping. Shun has the Guardian Angel pop, but look at what Paze is able to do. Tibbers comes out from Scout, and here comes Paze. He takes down Light. He takes down everybody. A quadra kill for the Xayah, and only Xiaohu remains.
And Xiaohu falls as well. Another massive fight from the JDG AD carry. 10-0 and 9. Game number 2 firmly in their sights.
That was the best shot that Weibo were going to have all game, but they forgot about one person, the single biggest threat on JDG's side all season long, and his name is Paze. Quadra kill to end the game, and a quadra kill to send JD Gaming to match point over Weibo.
And talk about playing to the limits, Grapes. This guy was probably 10, 15 HP that Xiaoshu is going to go for, because he's going to get most frequent access to either the Scion or to the Neferi. And if you want to Death Realm the Scion, you're going to not really accomplish all that much. But Death Realming Neferi, there's a very real world where you can just win that 1 versus 1. It feels pretty rough, whereas Yunari gets to go Blade as Flash mid.
Ooh, flash gold card on the Scout, who does not have that flash. Into the decimating smash goes Breathe, and that is first blood picked up for Weibo.
LG, and you can already see in the top side that this Yunara Lulu combo is going pretty nuclear at the minute.
We can see as soon as those items start to come alive, this Yunara is going to hurt even more, especially when in this ulti state. So you can see the laser coming in to chunk Zhuo out even more, and with the pressure that they were able to use off of Light using that ultimate, Tian's going to get all 3 grubs here for Weibo, so they're off to a great start here in this 3rd game.
Dragon live down on the bot side, and would like to see Weibo. We can look at the minimap, already seeing that Crisp is recalling. I expect that Light recalls after this wave has been pushed in as well. There's too much of a response from JDG.
It's not for now. As again, we take a look at their composition, right? You have Victor, you have Sivir. These are champions that will scale nicely, can survive a little bit of initial sieging power from Weibo by being able to wave clear really, really well. And so for them, like, losing an early dragon, not the worst case scenario. You just want to make sure you get your carries in good enough spots that they will be able to get to this big power spike yet again.
Yeah, Wildgrove used for the knock-up there, but Scout able to flash out to safety. I like the heads-up play from Crisp here. Lulu not a champion necessarily bound by big wombo combos, but being able to utilize that Wildgrove to knock somebody up is a very, very powerful tool that sometimes goes a little bit underutilized, as with no flash, needs to be careful for a route here on the teleport coming in behind.
Yeah, Scout's going to try to cut off the bot lane of Weibo, who, remember, do not have flashes on either of them. There's the Keeper's Verdict, and that's a dead Yunara on my screen. Scout gets right back on the board for JDG.
And it's massive that it goes to Scout as well here. Looking at the carries around, right, we've got Zhuo there, Jun there. You want this gold to go into the Victor. Blackfire Torch already picked up, and Weibo Gaming are a 1 carry composition, whereas JDG are a 2. And that's what scares me. Jun?
Oh, Zhuo, he was a ward, and now he's not, as he lands the Pop Blossom out of 2 members of Weibo. Thankfully for them, Light and Chris both have their flashes back up, and they're able to use that to save their lives. but a big cooldown utilized there for JDG comes at the cost of 2 flashes as they now will be able to try to regain control around the Rift Herald pit that has just spawned. But Breathe and the top side here for JDG are still very powerful. Breathe is now stuck in the death realm as Xiaoshu does issue that onto him, and he's going to respawn straight into 3 members of Weibo, but the Keeper's Verdict's going to knock away the jungler, and here comes the rest of the assault from JDG. Tien able to land another Q3 on to Xiaoshu and force JDG back, as Weibo will now be able to control this Rift Herald.
They're literally healing the Scion at this point. This is the apex for a Breathe at this stage in the game, where he's just able to stand and tank pretty much everybody. Nobody's got the damage to get through his HP bar. 680 bonus health from that Soul Furnace as well means that he's able to stand tall, keeps his team in very good contention for that Rift Herald, and they will secure it.
Potential fight around this Cloud Dragon. It means that JDG have easy control as Paige shoves in a mid-wave with those Boomerang Blades. And it should be JD Gaming evening up the objective front. So even though they weren't able to get many kills off of that fight around the Herald, they have gotten a ton off of it, despite, of course, the objective on the top side of the map going over to Tien. This is already a tower nearly taken in mid, and now we see Breathe issuing some damage on top side as well.
Yeah, some really important timings used here, and some really important cooldowns as well. No Poppy ulti means defending these objectives is really tricky. No Nico ulti means that engaging any fights is really difficult. They've just lost top tier 1, they've lost mid tier 1 because they were harassed down to the bot side to defend Scout. Weibo playing this map incredibly well, and
the Otacon or this Ocean Drake.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe they can do one or the other, right? Where they either take the fight on the top side or they look to just sacrifice their top laner in exchange for getting the Otacon, but ultimately they do neither, and now Weibo are easily going to be able to take the Dragon. It's a question of whether or not JDG look to contest after the fact.
Yeah, it's going to be easy secure here for Tien and Weibo.
That he's got from having creeps, from CSing, probably near 1,200 looking at it, with the amount of gold that he's picking on up. So even without the TF passive, he's like 700, 800 gold up over the Victor. The fact that he's got that passive as well just goes to add to it. With Scout opting into this window shop as well, where he's got Seeker's Arm Guard for a bit of a stasis, but he's also got the Blighted Jewel so that he can try and cut through the Scion. Honestly, I'm not against this play. It's whether or not Breathe has the wherewithal to walk up, spot this out from happening, and he does. Immediately, you know, with Destiny available, they can get up here.
Otacon pulled away from, so now it is Weibo making their way towards the Baron pit. But Zhuo's already in a lot of trouble to flash away before even using the Pop Blossom. Death Realm has only gone in on to the Scion, I believe, and so Xiaoshu's just going to go on the retreat. JDG start at the Baron, and they do the job of getting Weibo away from the Otacon, but now Weibo's on the top side of the map. They can continue to fish it for a fight, if not starting on the objective themselves.
Yeah, look, mid lane, Light is just hammering away at this tier 2 turret. They forgot to deal with their waves, and now they're just corralling them. Shun is now caught out.
Yeah, he flashes away from the gold card, but still gets hit up by the stun. Breathe gonna flash after the Poppy, and in goes Tien here with the call of the pack. Scout still has his flash, still very safe here on this Victor.
The Mordekaiser, 3 items strong, can flash in, take the Yunara into that death chamber, and maybe with this 2-level lead, win that 1 versus 1. That seems to be the route I'd be taking to take down this Yunara, separate her from the Lulu, make it so that she's not in a good position to try and find these big 5 versus 5s, and instead isolate her into a 1v1.
Soul Point now picked up for Weibo. They're going to get a blue buff to boot as well, as Tien says thank you for the leash.
To keep this Yunara alive, it's about making sure that they can do it, as Breathe is just walking headlong into everybody.
Just face tanking 1v4, and nobody on JDG can do anything about it. Infinity Edge, not even
it's Lulu, yeah.
A singular punch onto Breathe, who now is still going forward with that Soul Furnace unlocked. Lands a stun onto Scout with the Roar of the Slayer, knock up as well, but no full trigger being pulled. That Dinner Bell still available for Breathe if he wants to go in with the Unstoppable Onslaught. Now Xiaohu has spotted Xiaoshu on the flank and taking him down to about half HP. JDG are dangerously low. Another stun lands on the board, and Tien will pick it up. First kill into the hands of Weibo, and they're looking for more. Breathe goes forward with the Unstoppable Onslaught, trying to lock down Paige, and Tien will run him down. Scout in some trouble as well, as JD Gaming are burning at the hands of Weibo. Shun, the last one alive, but it's Xiaohu, the little tiger of Weibo, that roars to life. With this team on the brink, they pick up the ace. They TP into the mid lane and are going to try to break open the inhibitor tower in mid.
Forget the inhibitor tower, Grapes. It's 30 minutes. There are 40-second death time as Weibo won the game.
It is 10 seconds on Zhuo, 15 on Xiaoshu. Not going to be enough for Weibo to be stopped. Into the base of JD Gaming. There will be no sweep. The series will continue. And Weibo Gaming's dreams are alive in Split 3 of the LPL.
And in the bloodiest game nobody ever saw, because I do think that JDG are so vastly outclassing Weibo's draft here that it's not even funny. In the source, I'm going to be honest, in the way that they wanted this draft to play out, JDG can kind of walk in. They've got Braum level 1. I'm expecting them to do some pretty crazy stuff, and you can see this could very well be more kills at level 1 than we saw in the entirety of last game.
It's going to a potential 5v5 level 1 in game 4. They've already stunned up Xiaohu with the concussive blows, and he will drop to the might of Shun. That's first blood to JDG. And the rest of Weibo now have to flee their own jungle, at least for now. Gets a little better, but not as good as Evolution levels, right? So, yeah, fair enough point there, as we can already see Paze starting to get this snowball rolling in the bottom lane. Now rotated to the top lane for JDG as they find another stun onto Chris. Shun going to join for good measure and pick him up with the E. It's 2-0 for JD Gaming as things are falling apart fast for Weibo.
Just on right, like they end up losing their life, and that's a pretty big disaster here. As you can see, once again, Paze dancing with light, fakes out the barrier, and is Jun.
They're going to come right back to the scene of the crime. Another stun lands onto Chris. Paze launches forward with a double shot. Kindred, not even necessary, but he'll be able to pick up Crisp on top of it. It's 4-0 for Jindong Gaming.
A boon to take in their name.
This is one of the most one-sided early games that we've had all series, Rude, and it's very much in JDG's favor at this point. Remember, a lot of us were favoring Weibo here in this series just because of what they were able to do so far in the playoffs, the fact that they were a higher seed in the regular season. I mean, bracket, and they look unleashed, and truly a team that is potentially one to be feared even against some of these top teams.
Let's see, how easy is it to kill a Swain?
Looks like this time maybe a little bit easier as Scout gets collapsed upon. That is a flash from Xiaohu and a ton of damage issued onto him. So, yeah, I mean, maybe Weibo's angle is they're able to get an early soul, and all hopes of that now taken away as Shun is able to make his way down here, pick that one up for himself. But we saw there on the top side of the map, Rude, that is how Weibo need to continue to play.
Killing somebody, and you know, we've seen Proto Belts most likely on Nico. You don't have that same impact where if you ult yourself, it's a good slow and maybe a good bit of damage, but
yeah, they're going to have to make this work. They will be able to. Deathmark in from Tien. His kill goes over to Chris, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it was a play that Weibo had to make given what was going on the bottom side of the map. It will be all 5 plates secure for JDG. They will claim the first tower as well. Yeah,
Kindred Lucian are just going to absolutely rip through this turret, and I think that Tien, they're expecting a little bit more resistance from the Udyr as he kind of threw the ulti down, and by the time he'd landed,
we're seeing them at least have some fight, and they're going to look to do it again. Yeah, just immediately go for more and more plays. Breathe, teleporting to the top lane to try to punish Scout here. Lands the public execution. They're going to try to CC lock him again, but he will be able to ascend demonically onto the soul laners of Weibo, keeping himself alive. At least for the time being, he is running low on mana, but a flash forward from Breathe will be necessary to take him down.
These fights.
Interesting to note as well, we're at the 15-minute mark. Shun only has 3 Kindred marks at this point, so not reaching that range buff just yet. As we see another pick attempt here on to the top side of the map. It is the site of all the crime so far, but Shun will be able to save his mid laner with the Lamb's respite. So JDG not going down on the top side, and they also get the Rift Turtle. He unable to get online a couple of times, but now without that Lamb's respite, they're going to start at the Dragon.
My Kindred has no ulti. Why can't we take this fight? What's happening?
Already the Drake secured, but now it's a 4v5, turning into a 5v5 with Scout on the way. Frozen Claw comes out from Xiaohu, but he does not want to go back in.
Just making sure that they can do what they need to.
Been able to get another mark here, making it 5 on the Kindred stack. So now, you know, as soon as I said it, starting to get there as well. But you know, credit to Weibo. They are trying to trade stuff across the map. They know that they can't look for the 5v5s, especially with that land respite up, as this tier 1 tower should be going down against a double marksman competition. Xiaohu does not decide to continue the engage, and here comes the culling, and Chris just gets deleted. Tien, the next target as well, as he will go down unless the redemption is there to save him. A root lands onto Light as well, as it's just the 1-0 in favor of JDG. Actually now, Rudes, they give up this sort of a lead. 4,000 with the late game comp. starting up the Otacon at around the 20-minute mark. Tempered Fate's going to slow things down as Weibo feel like they have to fight at this point in the game, but I don't think they're going to be able to close the gap to secure this Otacon steal. Hexgate over the wall from both solo laners as a TP comes in from Scout. The Otacon's at 2k HP. A public execution lands, and in goes Zhao, who they're able to lock. Pays down. The Lamb's Respite is stalled too late, but it's still Scout with the Demonic Ascension in, trying to cook over the might of Weibo Gaming, but Light is still alive.
We're swaining,
and JDG have crumbled. It is 4 dead with only Scout still alive, but he's still a tanky Swain. He's gonna force Light to flash away, but he'll follow with his own right and take him down with another claw. Now Zhao has to flash away from Scout as well. Overall a 4v3 with the Otacon still going to JDG.
You can see that this Swain with that Rylai's, he's going to be able to keep everybody in place, and it's something that if there are no answers from Weibo, they're going to need to think about.
Starting to stack up here for JDG, and even though they lost a couple of members in that fight, they're still feeling very much in control of this game and in this series. They take down 2 towers consecutively as Zhao, who's only able to match with 1. TP comes in as right now JDG are doing a great job making sure they can't get picked out.
Oh, no,
However,
oh, no.
Breathe does find that public execution on to Scout, but he's able to use the ultimate in time to keep himself up and healthy. Culling goes down and it burns a couple of members of Weibo down who are still safe underneath their tier 2 turret. The curtain call will be blocked by a couple of people with a Tempered Fate landing onto the Swain, who no longer has the ultimate available. This is Weibo's time to try to go in. 4 shot goes on his woe. It does not find an execute, but Tien will still find the Kindred. But Xiaoshu's still so tanky, and Pays is flashing forward. He dashes on the Light, but will not be able to take him down. And Weibo will be able to come back and save the game at this point underneath their own tier 2.
JDG flubbed the fight. That was theirs for the taking. That could have very easily been the series. Going straight to the Baron.
Well, the good thing is Jun's going to have his ulti for this Baron fight. The Tempered Fate will stall things out. Tien looking to try to get in there. The public execution only landing in onto Zhuo. Into the pit they go. Who's going to get the Baron? It's secured by Weibo. But a kill's already been going over as Breathe has dropped. And Pays still untouched with the back line alongside Shun. A teleport comes in from Scout. It's a double kill for the Kindred, and only Light and Crisp remain on the Weibo side of things. The chase will commence. Shun looking to try to finish off this game, finish off this series for JDG. But the Baron is still in the hands of Weibo. They'll be able to try to save the game for now.
Yeah, it's a massive steal from Tien. It means that this game may not end here. Those Baron up creeps are going to do a good work at stalling JDG, but they might look to close this series out now anyway. Curtain call comes up. Scout can probably tank this to keep the minions alive.
The 4th shot only used onto the wave. There's still a cannon available and a teleport coming in from Zhuo. Lamb's Respite used to try to keep the cannon alive as well. JDG going for the jugular. They're going to try to end this game right here. Zhao spawns in 5, but the Nexus is exposed, and JDG are onto it and will take the series 3-1.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.